Hey guys, Christian here, and today I'll be breaking down the main card for UFC 218. And I welcome all of you to come back and troll me in the comments if I go horribly wrong here. I like discussion, I like learning from you guys just as much as hopefully you'll be learning something from me. Let's start with the insane matchup between Eddie Alvarez versus Justin Gaethje. I think this fight is going to deliver just as we all expect it to. I'm a huge fan of both of these guys, but I think unfortunately for Eddie Alvarez, he's a bit on the decline. And as much as he's trying to convince us through interviews that he's gonna uh, stand and bang with Justin Gaethje, I'm not entirely convinced because if you watch most of his UFC fights, he does like to wrestle, especially in moments where he gets rocked or is in danger. Let me start off by talking about Justin Gaethje a little bit. We only have one fight to go by in the UFC in terms of statistics, but in the Michael Johnson fight, he landed a ridiculous 10 strikes per minute. I don't think I've seen anyone land with that amount of pace. I think it's really up there. To put it into perspective, if you look at Max Holloway, who's one of the most active in terms of striking fighters in the featherweight division, he lands at about 5 strikes per minute, and Gaethje managed 10. So that's a ridiculous pace to keep, and I think that will be his key to victory here, along with his heavy use of leg kicks. He has great recovery skills, and while he doesn't move his head much in the fight, when he gets rocked, he really does. So it's really hard to capitalize on a hurt Gaethje. If you remember when Eddie Alvarez fought Donald Cerrone, he dominated that first round through dirty boxing, but then Cowboy came back with leg kicks and managed to beat him. And I expect something similar to happen here. I expect a good first round from Eddie Alvarez, but I just don't see him being able to last with Gaethje for a full 3 rounds. And if we're going to be honest with ourselves, Eddie Alvarez is on the decline. He has almost twice the amount of fights that Gaethje has, and both of these guys rely on their durability to win them fights. Uh, and one more thing about this fight, I think Eddie Alvarez's killer instinct is not that good. It's really not. If you remember the RDA fight, he had him pretty badly hurt, and it took him, I think, a full 2 minutes to close the show, throwing flying knees, and it was overall a pretty sloppy TKO on his part. So I think someone who's going to KO Gaethje, which is going to happen very soon, it's going to be someone with a ridiculous killer instinct, someone who stays very calm when he has Gaethje hurt, picking his shots, being very accurate uh, in in that moment. I think Gaethje, from what he's shown us, is actually one of the best survivalists in this division. So I do give him the slight edge in this fight. Well, actually, not the slight edge. I expect him to win this fight, even if he gets rocked. Okay, so next we go to the Henry Cejudo versus Sergio Pettis matchup, which again, a great fight. Two contenders. The winner will probably be getting a title shot, and I'll tell you why I think Sergio Pettis is my sleeper fighter for this card. I think between the ages of 22 to 26 is sort of like the golden age for skill development when it comes to fighting in MMA. I think we're going to see a Sergio Pettis who finally is putting everything together, and I think he's going to really surprise a lot of people here. And while there's no way to really quantify this, I really do believe this is what's going to happen. Henry Cejudo's last fight, was very dominant against Wilson Reis, and but I think Wilson Reis is sort of towards the tail end of his career. He's getting up there in age, and he was doing a lot of mistakes in that fight, circling towards Sergio Pettis' power. Sorry, Henry Cejudo's power, not adjusting very well to what Cejudo was doing, and I think we're gonna see Sergio Pettis really shine here. I think Cejudo's path to victory here is to use his wrestling, but I'm not convinced he will. I think he'll stand mostly with Sergio Pettis because of that last performance. I think he's going to have this false sense of security in that he's a better striker, and I think Sergio Pettis will make him pay for that. Statistically, both of these guys are very similar. I mean, um they both fire at the same clip, similar strikes landed per minute, similar accuracy, similar strikes absorbed per minute, very similar defense. But Cejudo does have the better wrestling, obviously being a gold medalist. But I just don't think he will use it that much. I think he hasn't trained to use it in this fight. So next we go to the co-main event between Alistair Overeem and Francis Ngannou. I think Francis Ngannou is going to win by KO in the first or second round, and I'll tell you why. Alistair Overeem's poker face is not very good. His durability is shot, and I think it will only take one solid strike from Ngannou to close the show. Because when Overeem gets hurt, he lets you know. He lets you know. He says, "Okay, you hurt me," so he backs away and he shells up against the cage, and he lets you do whatever you're gonna do for the next minute or so. And I think that's very dangerous for such a power striker in Ngannou. Um, while the skill differential here is undoubtedly in Overeem's favor, I think when it comes to the heavyweight division, power sort of trumps technique in many ways, and I think Ngannou's going to get this done here. Um, Overeem is a better grappler. He's a better striker. Obviously, we're talking about a K1 world champion. I think unfortunately for Overeem, his best days are behind him. We're going to see a new contender here to face Stipe for the title, and yeah, this is going to be fun. So now let's talk about the main event between Max Holloway and Jose Aldo, the rematch. Now, this fight is intriguing in many ways because Jose Aldo mentioned that, well, not Jose Aldo, his coach mentioned that he was a bit injured coming into that first fight. And while I do believe him that he was injured and that's why he wasn't able to use a lot of his leg kicks, I do give Max Holloway the edge here, and I have a feeling he's going to do it even faster. For some reason, I think this fight is going to finish in the first round. And part of the reason why I think that is because of the way Max Holloway beat Jose Aldo. He dropped him, and then he landed a huge barrage of strikes on the bottom, and I think that's going to take its toll on Jose Aldo. There's something to be said about fighters taking tune-up fights. I truly believe this. I think Jose Aldo should have taken an easier fight after that first Holloway fight. Um, I could be wrong here, but how many fights do you know that where a fighter has lost relatively convincingly and then came back to win the rematch? I can't think of that many. I don't think that happens quite a whole lot. And unfortunately, I'm a, I'm a huge Jose Aldo fan, and this is going to be a sad day for us Jose Aldo fans because we're gonna. I think Holloway is going to put the stamp on uh, on Jose Aldo's decline here. Um, he's very active on the feet, fires, as I mentioned, five strike earlier in the show, 5 strikes per minute. He's uh, he's just a beast, man. Holloway's not even peaking yet. He's a young guy. He's hungry as hell, and while Jose Aldo says he's going to be more aggressive and use the leg kicks, I think that's going to be to his detriment. I think a more patient Aldo would have more success here, and if he just goes full clip in that first round, that's going to be it's going to be very dangerous for him because he's going to be leaving a lot of openings for Holloway to capitalize. I think he should move to lightweight. That cut looked horrible for him. To be fair, the cut looked horrible for both guys, but Holloway's able to sort of withstand the weight cut because he's a younger guy, and I think Jose Aldo, having almost 30 fights in his career, um, is going to really lose pretty badly here. Thank you for watching. Um, And like I said in the beginning, you're more than welcome to come back in the comment section and troll my ass uh, for whatever I got wrong. And I look forward to that. Enjoy the fights, and I'll be seeing you soon. Bye.